Here's the team I would select if I was wildcard in game week 7. I feel like it's a pretty good week to wildcard. There's a few players you definitely want and there's some good differentials available. And like I said, there's some few really must-have players. One of them I think is probably David Raya, considering he's got over that little niggle it seems. Although he didn't do too well against Leicester, I can still see him performing consistently well. We know Arsenal have the best defence in the league. I mean, look at those fixtures, short term and long term, and there's just a little bit of a bad spell in the middle, but they're a fixture-proof defence. Like, they kept a clean sheet away at Tottenham, which is a really tough game to keep a clean sheet. If you can keep a clean sheet away at Tottenham, I'm pretty confident you can keep a clean sheet away at anywhere, to be honest. Obviously, they conceded 2 against Man City, but they got a red card, and Erling Haaland. Just a 4 million goalkeeper, to be honest. I have Fabianski, but none of them play. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. To cover the Liverpool defence, I have Konate. He's the cheapest one, and I'm pretty confident of his minutes now. I was worried at first he might be rotated with Quansah quite a bit, but ever since that first half of game week 1, he's played every minute. Or started every game, sorry, so I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, look at those points. 7 against Wolves, 8 against Bournemouth, 6 against Man U, 7 against Brentford. Obviously 1 against Ipswich, like I said, but they did keep a clean sheet, but obviously he only came 1 at half time. The fixtures aren't brilliant for Liverpool, but I think I prefer him to a Robertson. If you can afford it, I'd rather have Trent, but you can't afford it with this team I have. Fixtures are a bit hit and miss, but I'd still take it. And I'd go double Arsenal defence in Yuri and Timber. I was at the start of the season not too confident about his minutes, but I'm very confident about his minutes now. He's played 90 minutes in the last 3 weeks and he's played good minutes all round. He's also performed well, getting an assist in game week 6, and we know Arsenal are going to keep clean sheets. They're not going to concede loads of goals, even against anyone, even against Liverpool at home. They're not going to concede loads, away to Newcastle, away to Chelsea. I can't see him conceding 3 or 4, really all season, to be honest. Rico Lewis is a good way into the Man City defence. I think he will play more minutes now with Rodri injured. I think that Rodri injury makes him an even better option. Obviously in the last few weeks he's not done brilliantly, but he got 80 minutes against Newcastle, which is a big plus for me. He played 90 minutes in the first 3 weeks and performed really well all round. We know Man City will do well. They have a good fixture run, even though fixtures don't even really matter that much with Man City. Man City are going to do well, whoever they play pretty much, bar like 3 fixtures. I also have Leif Davis, who's got brilliant long-term fixtures, cheap price, offers attacking threat. He's always going to be good. 0.5 expected assists against Aston Villa in game week 6, which is really good from a fullback. The fixture run for Ipswich is really favourable, with West Ham away, Everton at home, Brentford away and Leicester at home. They do have Spurs away in game week 11 and in game week 12 Man United at home, but after that they're back on another good run in 13, 14, 15 and 16, so all the way until game week 16. He might not play every week for you, but he's a really good option. Right now I have Tuanzebe as a 4 million defender. I probably wouldn't go double Ipswich defence, but it's just there wasn't really one at 4 million standing out to me. There's Harwood Bellis. I'd probably actually thinking about go with Van den Berg from Brentford. In midfield, we're looking at a really strong midfield 5 with some good cheap options, one of them being Morgan Rogers. I think at this point he's a must-have. At the start of the season he was playing really well and maybe not getting the returns, but in game week 5 he got a 10-pointer with 2 assists and he got his first Premier League goal in game week 6. I think he's probably a must-have now for that price, especially if you're wildcarding. The fixtures for Villa are a bit hit and miss, but I mean it's a joke for that price point what he offers. Form of 5.2, so matching his price there. He's just so worth it. I think he's way too cheap to miss out on. Dwight McNeil has done really well for Everton this year. After a 15-pointer in game week 6 and in game week 4 he got a 12-pointer. With Everton's favourable fixture run, I really like him. He's going to constantly offer good value for you, especially if you're using him as a 5th midfielder who may not play every single week, but I think he's still really worth it for that price. Like I said, let's have a quick look at the fixtures. Look at that. Newcastle at home, Ipswich away, Fulham at home, Southampton away, West Ham away, Brentford at home. It's so good, long term and short term. 2 premiums in Cole Palmer from Chelsea off the back of his incredible 25-pointer in game week 6. I can't see him stopping his form. It's incredible. 4 goals in 1 half is a joke. Like he's the first player to ever score 4 goals in the first half of a Premier League match. 2.41 XG just him in that game. That's incredible. A lot of teams won't even get 2.4 XG in a whole game just as a team. Nottingham Forest in game week 7. Obviously, long term, the fixtures ain't brilliant, but I still think I'd favour him over Saka, to be honest. I think he's a fixture-proof player, and on pens, always going to be worth it. The FPL GOAT, Mo Salah, would probably not leave my team. His form's incredible. He's got 4 10-plus points hauls in, 6 weeks? That's a joke. He's only blanked in 1 week in game week 4 at home to Forest. He got 6 points against Bournemouth, then 10 points against Wolves, 14 against Ipswich, 10 against Brentford, 17 against Man U. I think he's too good an option to turn down. Obviously, he's a bit expensive and you could get Saka for cheaper and maybe get a third forward, but I can't look past Mo Salah. I didn't have him in the first few weeks and it cost me. I don't think I'd not have him again. Liam Delap's probably my big punt in this team. I was really impressed with him in game week 6. And I think with the fixture on, he's worth a punt. His expected goals this season hasn't been great, but Ipswich have had tough fixtures with like Liverpool, Man City, Brighton and Villa all in their first 6 weeks. He scored back-to-back games at home, and with this fixture on against West Ham, Everton, Brentford and Leicester, they're all teams who are struggling. I think I really like him as a punt, to be honest. He's a bit risky, but you need to take risks in this game. And obviously I love Erling Haaland. I'm not taking that big of a risk. 15.3 million, he's worth every penny of it. The fixture run's brilliant, even though he could score goals against anyone. He could have terrible fixtures, I'd still pick him. Like, what's he got? 10 goals in 6 games is incredible. Those first 4 games, looking at 7 points, back-to-back hat-tricks in game week 2 and 3, and 13 points are at home to Brentford. He's too good to miss out on. Then I just have a 4 million forward in Ross Stewart, but there's that Chiwomi from Wolves as well. They both offer similar value. It doesn't really make a difference, they won't play. Let me know if there's anything you would have done differently. I think this is a really good team, long-term and short-term. I really like it overall, especially the Brian Mbeumo pick. The fixture run's brilliant and he plays so many minutes for Brentford. I think he's always going to do well, especially on penalties this year. The XG is good a lot of games. He's just always going to play 90 minutes, and having people who are always going to play 90 minutes is so good for you. I mean, look at that. Other than the first game week where he played 89 minutes, he's played 90 minutes in every game. I think in a wildcard team he's a must-have with his fixture on. Wolves at home, Man U away, so good.